You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number
page.
322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. But look, I look forward...
Are you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
And we'll be watching. Be safe on the campaign trail. John Kerry, thanks for joining us. And we'll be right back.
Ephesians 5:11 says, "And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." In other words, don't have anything to do with wickedness or evil things, but instead expose them. So it is believed by some historians and researchers that Nimrod and Semiramis are the ones who started secret societies. They used and they use symbols to communicate with each other and to hide their dark deeds from the so-called uninitiated like ourselves. Because the worship of Satan was prohibited under the penalty of death. Now, in these modern times, Satan in various disguises is coming out in the open through such organizations as the Church of Satan. Some organizations that are not so open about their practices include the Freemasons, which are one of many organizations involved in worshipping Lucifer, although this secret is only revealed to those in the higher levels. That would be from the 30th to the 33rd degree of Freemasonry. Those involved in secret societies include politicians, actors and actresses, church leaders, including pastors from so-called Protestant churches, police officers. Remember, I was a police officer myself for 12 years in the UK, and I know that for a fact. There were even officers that used to come in, or one particular officer that I saw coming in to work wearing Masonic rings, and some of them gave me Masonic handshakes as well. Others involved in Freemasonry include military personnel, members of think tanks and banking institutions, etc., etc. It's almost impossible to get promoted to top positions in some of these organizations without being a member of a secret society, because those in charge of these organizations have an agenda. So you can't just get to the top position if you're not a member of a secret society in some of these institutions I've mentioned, because then you won't go along with their agenda. So normally it's those involved in secret societies. And remember, I said that most of those in these organizations worship Lucifer because they are pushing an agenda. And the agenda is to push for a new world order in which every man, woman, and child is going to be enslaved. And also to be put in a position where they have to worship Lucifer, because ultimately what Satan wants is to be worshipped. So I just want to, without going into too much detail, I'll try and link some or attach some videos showing evidence of some of what I'm saying, but without going into too much detail. I just want to give examples of secret societies. So they are Freemasons, a secret society, which I've already mentioned, Rosicrucians, Knights of the Golden Circle, and it's believed that this particular secret society I've just mentioned was involved in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. It's believed that the Knights of the Golden Circle then evolved into the KKK.
Few people know that John Wilkes Booth, the man who assassinated Abraham Lincoln, was not just a lone wolf or a sole assassin, but was actually working for a secret society called the Knights of the Golden Circle, or the KGC, a pro-slavery Confederate secret society who was working to try to ensure the Confederates would take over. The Knights of the Golden Circle actually planned to not only have some of their operatives assassinate Abraham Lincoln, but that same night hoped to assassinate the Vice President and the Secretary of State, thus eliminating 3 of the top officials in the United States government, hoping that would ensure the Confederates could take over. You get it? The Knights of the Golden Circle, Knights of the Sun. This is an 1800s pamphlet that was written exposing the KGC, where you can see it's filled with Masonic sun symbolism here. Another interesting alleged member of the KGC was Jesse James, the infamous outlaw known for his vast robberies, which were going to fund the KGC, covertly funding the Confederacy. Yes, that's right. He wasn't just committing these robberies for his own personal gain. There was a bigger puzzle at work here. By the way, another major member, even one of the potential founders of the KGC, is said to have been Albert Pike, a Confederate Army general, the author of Morals and Dogma, the sort of Masonic Bible. You know, the man who wrote that they basically worship Lucifer in his book, saying that Satan is not the black god, but just represents a force. And the Masons represent this force. Yes, that Albert Pike, also suspected to have founded the KKK as well. By the way, there's a larger-than-life statue of Albert Pike that stands in Judiciary Square in Washington, D.C., right alongside Abraham Lincoln. And Albert Pike's body is kept in a tomb inside the Masonic headquarters in Washington, D.C., a building called the House of the Temple, which is home of the Supreme Council of Freemasonry. Yes, Albert Pike, who, just wrote an article in his newspaper, the Daily Appeal, a newspaper in Tennessee, on August 16th, 1868, in his editorial, saying that they should, quote, unite every white man in the South who was opposed to Negro suffrage meaning the right to vote, into a great order of Southern brotherhood, with an organization complete, active, and vigorous, in which we could execute the consecrated will of all, and for whose very existence should be concealed from all its members. Oh, sounds exactly like the KKK, right? So there you have it. Just an interesting piece of the puzzle. Most mainstream history just says that John Wilkes Booth was just personally dissatisfied with the politics of Abraham Lincoln. But if mainstream history were to reveal that he were a part of a bigger conspiracy, a secret society, a Masonic secret society, the Knights of the Sun, the Knights of the Golden Circle, then people would just start poking around and start peeling back the layers of the onion. And of course, we can't have that. Kim Kardashian's posting another selfie. More masturbation material for the morons. Yeah, there's some football games on. Let's go worship the NFL players, the modern-day bread and circus.
Yeah, so KKK stands for Ku Klux Klan. And something else that came to my mind as I was talking was that we're always being told that there's no conspiracy. It's interesting that even has to be mentioned in the first place. Because like, let's say if you look at the JFK assassination, we're told that there was no conspiracy. And anyone who thinks there's more to what happened than what we're being told by both the government, the US government, and the CIA, that person is a conspiracy theorist. But if there's no conspiracy, then why do we need all these secret organizations and secret societies that I'm talking about right now? So moving on from the Knights of the Golden Circle, we've got Skull and Bones, of which both the George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr. Were members of, and then John Kerry as well. You remember that John Kerry and George Bush went head to head in the 2004 American elections. Not only are these two men in the same secret society, but they're actually supposed to be, it is alleged that they are cousins as well. And in fact, it's said that most American presidents are all related. Then we have Opus Dei, and we've got the Knights of Columbus, the Knights of Malta, and we've got the Round Table, which was started by Sir John Rhodes, and got the Knights Templar, which evolved into the Jesuits, and we've got the Illuminati as well. So the Illuminati was actually a front organization for the Knights Templar, because the Knights Templar were abolished basically by King Philip of France. So they used the Illuminati basically as a front organization when they were banned, but they then came up, resurfaced as the Society of Jesus, commonly known as the Jesuits. So we've got the Order Templi Orientis, the Order of the Golden Dawn. We've got the Bohemian Club. We've got the Kabbalah as well, which I believe Madonna is a part of. We've got the Order of the Eastern Star, the Thule Society, and Adolf Hitler is said to have been a member. I've got the Black Hand, the Priory of Sion, we've got P2 Lodge, which is an Italian secret society. We've got the Golden Dawn, we've got the Jesuits, or the Society of Jesus, the most powerful secret organization. It's interesting that most researchers and historians don't really write about the Jesuits, and especially about them being the most powerful secret society above all the other secret societies. And the Jesuits are the military arm of the Catholic Church that rules all other secret societies, like I've already said. Other secretive organizations, we have the Bilderbergers, the Council of 300, the Trilateral Commission, got the Council on Foreign Relations, and the Royal Institute for International Affairs, and the Royal Institute for International Affairs, also known as Chatham House, is actually the sister organization to the Council on Foreign Relations. We've also got the World Economic Forum, which is not so much a secret society or secret organization, but they do have a secret agenda in basically in that they are working with all these other secret societies to bring about a new world order. And most politicians, a lot of politicians, especially European politicians, are part of the World Economic Forum. For instance, Justin Trudeau, and I think Mark Carney, who's at the time of recording this video, is the Prime Minister of Canada, unelected Prime Minister. If I may add that, I believe he's a part of the WEF, and also Keir Starmer, who's Prime Minister in England right now. He's, if I remember correctly, he's a part of the WEF, and so was Boris Johnson, and the Pakistani Prime Minister, who was in England just recently. He was a part of the WEF as well. I forget his name. Rishi Sunak, I believe he's part of the WEF, and many others, including Putin, actually, who has since been removed from the WEF website, obviously to make him look like he's no longer part of the WEF and he's the enemy. But yeah, he's part of the WEF, and Zelensky as well is part of the WEF. So even if someone is not part of the WEF, some of them do go to World Economic Forum meetings, because then they are told what the agenda is, maybe for that particular year, because the meetings at Davos, which is where the meetings for WEF take place, they happen every year, at the beginning of every year. So obviously, it's similar to the Bilderbergers. Also, they meet once a year, if I remember correctly, so that they can discuss whatever the agenda is for the coming years. So I'll attach some videos just showing how secret societies are involved in ruling the world. All these organizations, which I've mentioned several times in some of my videos, whether it be banks or churches, politicians, pharmaceutical companies, the police and the military, they are all working together. That's why sometimes you can't, someone can't be in a top position in some of these institutions unless they are part of a secret society. I hope it all makes sense.